Hello everyone and welcome to our phase for a video presentation. Today our team is going to take you through an intercultural analysis based on the five and matrix data compiled at UCUM in Antioquia. The purpose of our study is to look past surface level communication to evaluate how local verbal and non-verbal behaviors carry deeper cultural meanings. More importantly, we will discuss how these behaviors can be misconstructed by other cultures and outline key strategies to navigate these differences smoothly.
Now we are going to talk about our first selected example, which comes from Hernán Darío Córdoba Escobar, a physical education teacher at UCOM. He pointed out a common not-verbal behavior on campus, gestos sarcásticos y expresiones de desaprobación. As a little analysis and interpretation, we have that locally in the UCO or in Antioquia context, these mock expressions of disapproval serve a very specific communicative intention. They are used to express closeness or familiarity or a sense of shared belonging, usually in social groups. However, things can go wrong very quickly if you are not close enough to the person or if an outsider observes this behavior. For instance, in highly structured or formal cultures like Russia or China, making disapproval gestures can be viewed as a very disrespectful sign or a highly offensive personal affront. Even locally, if you are not close enough to the person or if you are not very confident to the person, the receiver might feel awkward or targeted, uncomfortable, or even angry for the sign.
Our second example focuses on a verbal phenomenon. Natalia, a fourth semester system engineering student from Rio Negro, shared a widespread narrative en campus. Alrededor de nuestra carrera de ingeniería de sistemas hay un gran mito que es que los ingenieros de sistemas son como muy introvertidos, hay como poca comunicación y en parte es real. Now, moving to the analysis and interpretation, this phrase highlights a localized cultural stereotype. The communicative intention behind discussing it is to acknowledge that communication styles naturally fluctuate within different university majors. Locally, it maps out a narrative where technical skills are perceived to overshadow social interaction. When talking about misunderstandings, the risk here lies in negative generalizations and unfair prejudice. In global or corporate cultures where high-level teamwork, proactive communications, and public engagement are strictly demanded, an outsider might interpret this perceived introversion as a severe lack of interpersonal capability, social awkwardness, or an inability to cooperate efficiently in a professional environment. Finally, regarding the intercultural strategy, the key intercultural strategy here is checking assumptions and avoiding broad generalizations. When interacting with students or professionals from technical fields, one should approach them individually and acknowledge that everyone has a unique way of communicating. A great response is to show understanding of the stereotype while keeping an open mind, recognizing that a person's career path doesn't absolutely define their capacity to connect with others.
Our next example comes from Laura Maria, who is also a systems engineer student. She observed a distant gender and heritage dynamic when entering the microwave area to heat up lunch. Stating. Algo que he notado mucho es que los hombres con los docentes, usualmente con los docentes hombres, también casi siempre llegan y buenas tardes, ¿cómo están? Le dan la mano, and so on. Conversely, she noticed that the female students often maintain a distance or a physical distance. So we have the analysis and interpretation that is this not verbal behavior highlights local norms surrounding gender, roles, and institutional heritage. The physical distance maintained by female students toward male teachers isn't act as a coolness, rather is intended to show deep institutional respect, formality, and the strict adherence to professional boundaries. So possible misunderstandings can be to an outsider of some coming from an elegantary culture where close physical contact, casual greetings, or warm hug between students and professors is normalized. This distance could easily be misinterpreted as a coolness, extreme aloofness. On the flip side, if an outsider tries to force a closer interaction, it might be judged locally as unprofessional or entirely disrespectful to someone they don't know or they don't recognize as a friend or someone. We have an intercultural strategy for this that is centers a context observation and respecting established norms. If you are a broader, you can see how the space and how the context works and avoid misunderstandings when other people, and in this case with teachers and some students who doesn't have like the habit to hug or kiss teachers or even between classmates. And also professional boundaries in formal settings and ask questions about the local communication dynamics before making assumptions about someone's friendliness.
To conclude our presentation, analyzing these three distinct examples from our matrix show us that communication is never just about the literal words and the physical movements made in the middle of interaction. Everything is deeply supported in a local cultural background. And by transitioning from minimal descriptions to deeper cultural interpretation, we can predict some friction points and implement active intercultural strategies. As a result of that, we can be more genuinely respectful and be more empathetic with the things that are very different for us.